This is the beginning of a plugin that I've made called Skill Hop. Now the purpose of this plugin is to go alongside a challenge that I've set myself where I'm only allowed to train one skill at a time. But the skill that I'm allowed to train is dictated by this plugin. So every 15 minutes, the skill that I'm training will be randomized by the plugin. Now I find this a really fun concept, but I also think it will be very challenging, especially in the later levels. It's absolutely typical that the first skill I'd get in this showcase is one that I can't do. So while this is counting down, I'll run us through the code that is behind the plugin. So when the player logs in, and every subsequent 15 minutes after they log in, a random skill will be generated. So what I've got here is a list of free-to-play skills, because this character is free-to-play for now. We've grouped the combat skills, because I noticed early on that if I'm training attack, I can't train attack without also training hit points. And on top of that, if I want to train Slayer, then I'm going to have to use a combat skill, right? So attack, defense, strength, hit points, ranged, magic, and Slayer are all grouped together. That means that if the random skill that is chosen is any of those, you can do all of them. I thought it would be a bit nicer to have a combat training time rather than an attack training time or a strength training time. So we have a big list of skills to choose from in this random selection. What we do is take out the previously selected one, because we don't want the same one twice in a row. And on top of that, if the previous skill was a combat skill, then we get rid of all of the combat skills from the list. This means if the last one was defense, you can't get Slayer next time. So we're making sure that you can't do combat twice in a row. And then we're simply picking from the remaining list, and that becomes the active skill for the next 15 minutes. And then 15 minutes later, it'll happen again. And that's it. That's the crux of the entire plugin. There are some extra bits that go along with it though. So for example, if I'm on cooking, which I am right now, I should not be able to train combat, right? So if I now try to kill this man, there's no attack option. I can't do it. I literally cannot attack this man. Now, if I try to attack something else, like this rat, the right click shows no attack option, but the left click does show an attack option. If I click it though, nothing happens. And the same applies for literally every other NPC in the game. If I try to attack this goblin, oh, he got there before I could get there. He beat me again. God, leave me alone, man. Yeah, so this one, I'm clicking this guy. I just keep getting this message saying, stop what you're doing. Come on, this isn't how you're supposed to be playing the game. And we're about to get a new skill that we could potentially do this time, crafting. So we can actually do crafting. I can shear some sheep, and I'll go and do that now. So combat is actually the only skill that this works on. I've not implemented that for any other skill, purely because there's a huge amount of things that you can do in this game. And disabling the options for everything that is not your current skill would, it would take a long time, and I'm not there yet. So whilst I'm allowed to do the crafting skill, I'm just going to shear these sheep and try and get a load of balls of wool. I could also do the sheep shearer quest that gives crafting XP. Now there's obviously a few issues with this plugin that we might come across later on. The first one that comes to mind is the fight caves. You're going to need a lot longer than 15 minutes to complete the fight caves. So you can't just get the combat skill and go, all right, let's go kill Jad. So I'm going to have to make some changes, but I'm not quite sure yet what exactly we're going to do. Maybe it'll be you can enter the fight caves when you've got combat and stay there, but these are problems for later, right? We don't have to worry about this right now. The whole idea behind this series is that we start off with just the core foundations of the plugin, and we build up over time so that by the end of the series, we have a really well put together plugin. And we'll get there from, just bug fixing along the way, ideas that come to mind, but ideally comments and suggestions from you guys. So I should not be wasting this combat time. Now that my skill is combat, I can start killing things, and I'm going to attack this goblin, show that now that that option's allowed again, and the right click option's there again. And we can attack, we can strength, we can defense. We can defense. Okay, we can defense. There we go, see. With the grouping of the combat skills, it's much more likely that we're going to get a combat skill than any other skill, which, was the idea. I think that's probably what most people would want. but we'll see how it goes. We can always make adjustments along the way. I'm just going to claim some ranged stuff and some magic stuff. Oh, okay. Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to get ranged stuff and prove that we can also shoot things. Yeah, so range is working fine. I'm going to have to remember to pick up all the bones as well, because when the prayer skill comes along, I'm going to need some bones to bury. So I'll be killing these goblins and taking the bones to the bank. At the start of the video, I dropped everything in my inventory, which I am really regretting. Okay, so the first hurdle in our playthrough, I have got no health and I've got no food. And my arrow's over there and this goblin's stopping me getting it. Oh, I was lucky. Lucky we waited. Oh no, didn't matter. So I've noticed a bug, and it's whenever I gain health, the plugin thinks that I'm gaining hit point XP. Okay, I think I found the culprit, and it's that when your hit points go up, it triggers a stat change event associated with hit points. And my plugin is saying, well, why is this stat changed event about hit points? Because you're supposed to be training fishing right now. What are you doing? So for now, to get around it, I'm just going to say if the skill that's triggering this event is hit points, we should bypass it because we can only get hit points through combat, and you should be able to eat. Really, that shouldn't be that shouldn't be against the rules. I think the plan for skills like runecrafting, which I can't do right now, would be to go questing instead, or achievement diaries or something, just to fill the time. I don't think this would be an issue later on because you should have like a build-up of things in your bank to go and do the other skills with. Now this is super early days. There's still loads and loads of stuff to do. Like for example, removing all of the options from skills that you're not assigned right now. Like chop tree. I shouldn't be able to chop this tree. And I can do it and I will gain XP for doing this. I'll just get a red flash saying, you know, you shouldn't be doing this. But at some point I will include that code that stops you being able to select that option. In the meantime, if there is anything that you think would make a cool addition or a nice change to this, please let me know because I'd be very interested to hear from you.